Welcome back to the MTR Network. This is Kriss and Phenom here. We're finally here to do, we're a little bit late on this one. A little bit my fault. To do the review on Power Rangers, a group of high school kids who are infused with unique superpowers, harness their abilities in order to save the world. This is the most anticipated, ever since, I think ever since that Dark Power Rangers, fan video came out, people were like, hey, why don't they actually do an actual Power Rangers film and do one. I did not go to this. I went to see Life instead. So, Phenom, tell me, how was this film?
I'm curious, man. I'm curious as if what you would have thought if you'd have went to see this, because I'm not really fully invested in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers lore.
Neither am I. So that might be.
I watched the first season with Jason and Tommy, and Kimberly and Trinity and Billy and.
Hey, hold it real quick. You're a little low.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, sorry.
What about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, yeah, I watched. I watched the first cartoon. I mean, the first show cartoon, and while I thought it was cheesy, it helped me get dressed in the morning before going to school. So I was completely cool with that. But after that, I didn't continue to watch it. Like, once Tommy became the White Ranger and all of that stuff happened, I remember playing the Super NES games. I really enjoyed those, and I saw the first two movies. And that's about as much Power Rangers I have in my catalog of knowledge. So I'm not aware of Ninja Rangers and Motorcycle Rangers and Space Rangers and Underground Rangers and Park Rangers. I'm not into all of these other Rangers.
Ranger Rick and shit.
Yeah, I'm just not over the past 20 years or 30 years of Rangering. I'm just not into it. So I had no expectations for this going into it.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, I thought it was okay. I'm seeing all of these. Oh, it was amazing. It was great. It was over the top. I felt emotions. I was hit. It was perfect. I didn't get any of that. I was just like, okay, that I guess that's cool. But I wasn't blown away, and I feel like there are a bunch of reasons why I wasn't blown away by this film. And I don't think any of those things mattered to the people who wanted to see this movie. And frankly, I think I just really don't get the allure of Power Rangers.
I mean,
yeah. I don't get it, because there was one dude in the theater, man. He was feeling it. When they morphed, he was like, yes! And I mean, this dude's 30 years old, Chris. And then when the Zords came out, he was like, yes! I could feel his vibration. Okay. And I was on the other side of the theater. And I was just like, man, he is seeing something that I'm not seeing.
You know what that reminds me of that girl in front of us in the X-Men Apocalypse who was getting her fucking life. And we were just like, are you serious right now? Are you?
Yeah,
what film are you watching?
And it's I didn't feel like it was bad. I definitely felt like it was a mess of a movie. It was you could tell, and I didn't know some of these things. So there are a couple of facts about this movie that made me understand more and more and more of my issues with it. I thought it was a good film. I thought it was a good callback to what the Power Rangers I'm familiar with. And I could definitely see them building a stronger franchise from this. But I had a lot of issues with this movie, and I was just like, I don't know what it really, it just feels messy, and I wonder why. And then when I started doing research on the development of this film, a lot of this shit started to make sense. First of all, this film's been pushed back 3 times. And I didn't know that. When they announced that Power Rangers, when I saw the trailer teaser, I was like, yo, that shit look dope. And when they showed the trailer, I was like, that shit look dope. But all of that was in later last year. This film was actually supposed to be released in July of last year. And then it got pushed to January. And then it got pushed to March. So that, to me right there, that kind of lets me know that a lot of the a lot of the messy editing probably came from constant post production stuff.
Right.
It felt like they wrote a lot of different scripts for this, and then took the best parts or their favorite parts from those scripts and made a big movie, and then edited it down so that some of the scenes don't really link up. Like, you feel like they're incomplete. You feel like some things are missing. And the film is, I think, 105 minutes, and it feels like it moves really fast. But I feel like there's way more that was there that we didn't get to see.
They have it listed as 2 hours.
Is it 2 hours?
It says 2 hours and 4 minutes.
Is it?
At least IMDb says it. So maybe, I don't know, unless that...
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 129 minutes or something, or 124 minutes?
Yeah.
That
would be 124 minutes, so...
Yeah, 124 minutes then. I was wrong. I must have been looking at something else. You know what? I was looking at something else because Beauty and the Beast was long as shit too.
You might have been looking at Life then.
Maybe I was looking at Life. It just so the film opens up and they do this weird cinematic thing with the camera where one of the characters gets into a car accident and they actually have like the camera in the car facing him. And I feel like they did that whole scene as an action scene with the camera in the car. And I actually thought that was dope. And I mean, this is coming from watching The Raid 2, like 2 or 3 days before this. One of the best shot action films ever. So I'm looking at this scene and I'm going, okay, they incorporated this really dark element of cinematography. I thought that was dope. And it kind of jumps in with the actor Aker playing Jason. And of course, we see in the trailers, he gets sent to like, I don't know, like detention or one of these alternative schools. And that's where he meets the rest of the soon-to-be Rangers. Well, all of them except, he meets 2 of them. He meets Kimberly, which is played by Naomi, and he meets Billy, which is played by R.J. Cyler. And is it Cyler or Cypher? Cyler. R.J. Cyler. And off bat, RJ is the biggest seller in this film.
He seemed like it, though.
His interpretation of Billy is so good. He's quirky, he's funny, he's goofy. I like that they incorporated that he says he's off the spectrum. But those are qualities that he really has, and it adds this comedic element to it that is very engaging, and you really fall in love with his character. And I like RJ anyway. Like, I've always thought he was a dope actor. I thought he was good in Vice Principals. It was another film he was in where he I cannot, for some reason, for the life of me, I cannot think of what the other film is that he was a part of right now. It was a film with him and that white boy, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. His character was amazing in that. And, he brings that here. Like, he's a very talented actor. Aker is good as Jason. He's a good lead. He's a good conflicted leading character who has like issues with his father and issues with being the star of the town and people not really understanding him as a person.
That's kind of something that I was hearing from, I think Rob was talking about it earlier when we were on the Nerd Off, talking about how the film really focuses on like these kids being teens in this town and kind of building them up a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely the only character there were 2 characters. Naomi Scott I like her character, but I didn't really connect with her issues, which she hides most of the film, and then she comes out later. Like, and it wasn't her fault. Like, she did a really good job, but I think they waited too long for her to finally open up. And because there needed to be this synergy with the Rangers, and she didn't open up till way late in the game. But I liked her acting. So there's a lot of scenes that try to show you the person that Zach is. He's played by Ludi Lin, I believe. They try to show you scenes with him to help you connect. But I also wasn't buying I wasn't buying his character as much. I was buying his scenes, and I felt his emotion. I felt the emotion from the scenes. I still don't understand his character fully. He's like the wild child, and I don't fully understand him yet. Um, then there's Becky G, who plays Trinity, and
Trina or
Trini. She played she's Trinity, whatever, man.
You don't give a fuck. The Yellow Ranger, right?
Whatever. She I like her. I thought she was cool. So I'm assuming she's the gay ranger.
Oh wait, so that was a big deal that came out about how they had the first openly gay superhero.
I don't know who it is, Kriss.
So wait, they don't actually make that a plot line in the film.
They don't make her say I'm gay, or they don't make her like hit on girls or anything. If she is the gay ranger, then I completely missed it.
Okay, so apparently it is the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, it's Trinity, which I assume because they try and see if their idea of making her come off as the gay ranger was making her dress up as a tomboy, that's like kind of uncool. If that's all it was.
No, it wasn't apparently. So apparently, there's a scene where somebody asks her boyfriend problems and then says girlfriend problems, and she doesn't respond fully. Like it's not a full like.
I missed it.
Right, it's bullshit. I'm sorry. Like I didn't like. No, I mean it's good for her being like having a gay character. And let's not downplay that. But apparently, it's such a small like. It's something you can like. Put it this way: apparently, the gay characters in Beauty and the Beast are way more out there than.
Oh, nigga, they are so much more gay. Like, Poole or whatever his name is super gay, and then there's another character later in the film who is super gay, and then at the end they get to be super gay together. Like, yes, the characters that are gay in Beauty and the Beast are blatantly, obviously, flamboyantly gay. Okay, and it is awesome and it is hilarious. I loved it. But in Power Rangers, I was just like, oh, who's this cute little Spanish girl? She kind of got a little attitude, talking a little shit. She might be gonna be the badass. She gonna be whooping ass. And then later I get on Facebook and I'm like, see all these articles about the gay character. And I'm like, I remember them saying there was a gay character, but while watching the film, I did not remember that there was a gay character. And maybe I am just so blind now to caring about whether a person is gay or not by the way they look, that I missed it. Well, I'm just gonna give myself kudos.
I will say this, like, because again, you can't really tell if somebody's gay by the way they look. So I will say that maybe it's the thing for them is that the character's supposed to be gay in the film, and they don't really make it such an obvious thing out there. But if asked, the character, like, cause I've seen that before, where there's I think Greg Rucka was talking about Wonder Woman. He was like, oh no, she's bisexual, and it's like, while they've never really delved into that a whole lot in the comic book. He was just like, yeah, she's bisexual, and that's fine. End of story. Like, you can't. So if anybody further wants to write her to be bisexual going forward, it's not like a huge knock against the character. But because when they made that say that, and it made such a big deal about it, I thought maybe that they would be like, like they show her with a girlfriend, or I didn't know which character it was. I was like, maybe it's a guy, and maybe they show him with his boyfriend. I didn't know that it was literally just like one line that they barely mention it at all, and they don't even really say anything about it. So
it confuses me then, because they're definitely trying to set up like a love interest between Acre and Naomi, which would be the Red Ranger and the Pink Ranger, right? They're definitely trying to have Valentine's Day Ranger love there, and it definitely felt like they was trying to set up a Wiz Khalifa-ish love thing between the Black and Yellow Ranger. Because those are the two that are the most outcast from the group, because the other three have the tension together. Mm-hmm. Those two are just kind of around, and then they pop up, which is cool enough, and I like their characters, but like Zach has an affinity, it seems, for Becky's character, and he likes to call her crazy girl throughout the whole film. He's usually the one that's talking to her. He's usually the one that's engaging her. He's kind of playful. I kind of felt like they were trying to build an interest there too. So when I found out she was gay, she was the gay one, I was like, oh, I missed that. I mean, possibly she could be bi. I missed it. I really thought that they made like a subtle connection, and maybe it was just a we're cool, we're crazy, we're gonna be really good friends connection, and not a we're gonna go to prom together connection. So that could have been it. Um, what else is there? So Becky G, Yellow Ranger, is actually a YouTube discovered phenom, which explains why her name is Becky G. And she actually is managed by Dr. Luke, who is what he's under like Sony or whatever, and he manages like Kesha and a bunch of your favorite white pop artists. So she's a singer. And actually has like songs on other soundtracks and shit. Ludi Lin, the Black Ranger, actually auditioned via Skype from Singapore and got the role.
Okay.
Yeah, some stuff I was just like, okay, and for that he did a fine job, but I was like, okay. And did you know Max Landis was on to write this?
Oh my god!
Before they fired him. So Max Landis wrote a script for this, right? And they ended up firing him. But they took sections from his script. And they're clearly in this movie. But I didn't remember this, but I read that he actually was going after this film after he saw the teaser trailer. Because he said, wow, they're finally ready to release Power Rangers, and what do you know? It looks like Chronicle 2.0. And that's not untrue. It's not untrue in how they kind of find their powers. He wasn't lying.
Oh, you can tell that kind of from the trailer. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, essentially not to spoil anything, but the film opens up and Bryan Cranston is also in this movie as a Zordon or whatever. And he actually is the original Avatar. He's the original Red Ranger. And he's of an alien species. But for some reason, when he becomes Zordon behind the screen, he looks human. Whatever. And it's this alien species like dinosaur millions of years ago. And it's the very opening of the film, so this really isn't a spoiler. And they get in a fight. Rita is the Green Ranger, and she has turned on them, and she has fucked them up. So he's like, fuck it, we all gonna die. And he does something that ends up causing the coins to be not to be obtainable until the right people come along to become the new Rangers. Mm-hmm. And Rita gets caught up in that too. So, cut to the future. We're in Angel Grove. These 5 kids are outcasts. They find each other. They find these coins. They start to develop these. It kind of felt like Spider-Man a little bit. They kind of wake up and they realize, oh shit, we're indestructible, we're powerful. Right. We can whoop ass. Shit like that. You can see from the trailers, we can jump really far. And how they actually do that was dope. Like how they showed how indestructible these kids are. That's a really dope scene. I really like that part of the film. They end up discovering, finding Zordon and whatnot, and they connect with him. And Zordon's like, "Hey man, y'all need to become Rangers," because lo and behold, when they find this shit, Rita wakes up, and Rita is played by one of Ashley's favorite actresses, was Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
I was actually looking forward to seeing her play Rita too. I know people had issues because she wasn't Asian, like the original Rita Repulsa, but I like Elizabeth Banks. I think she's a really good actress, and I think she does crazy well from watching her at Hunger Games. I think she's able to do crazy and emote at the same time. Her as Rita Repulsa was just she is badass, bro. Like she is not to be fucked with in this movie. She kills a few people in this movie, and there's an encounter between her and the Rangers that I thought was the best fight scene in the movie, and I wish it had been longer. She was bad as shit. I mean, from just a kung fu fighting standpoint, point, man, she whooped their asses. It was not even. It was sad. It was. She just took them out, and she enjoyed toying with these kids. Like there are trailers you see. They're in the trailer. You can see that she toys with them in their dreams and stuff like that. Like she's really dark. Ashley couldn't look at her because she looks terrible. Like she looks disgusting. Ashley couldn't look at it. Ashley's like, she's making me itch right now. And she's on this kick to find gold, so she's like a crackhead who needs gold in this movie, and you know that's for her to build the big Goldar thing or whatever. I'll just flat out, I did not like the way Goldar looked at all. I think it looks awful, but you know, I would have preferred the wolf thing from the first Power Ranger season that we had, the wolf in gold. Because this shit that they did, this big gold statue that they had, I didn't like.
Well, I was gonna ask you how the Zords and how Megazord look, because you don't really get a look at them in the trailer, and that's what actually had me worried. Like I kind of had figured out that the beginning of this film would mostly be them setting up the Rangers, and that they weren't really gonna get like the Zord, like get the really big stuff until towards the end of the film, because it's the first film. I get that, so let's prepare for that. But what worried me was, even the trailers, you never really got a good look at any of the Zords. You never got a good look at Megazord. And I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about this. So how did those end up looking when you finally get looks at them?
The action scenes where there are Rangers and they fight with the Zords is my biggest issue with the movie. The whole story about the kids and them coming together, all of that was endearing. I liked the way it was shot. I liked the dark element of it. I liked Rita Repulsa. I liked the way they built up her character and made her become more and more of a foe, more and more dangerous. She was more lethal. Like, I really felt that. I liked even what they did with Zordon. Like, he has twisted plans too. Like, I like that no character in this film seems to be genuine but these kids. All of that was dope. When they finally do morph and it's time to fight, I think they really wanted to pay homage to the way the old fighting looked, the kind of fuzzy screen, because it was video from Japan, like it was already recorded video and shit, that spliced into the American actor version, and they did that kind of with the grain of the film. And while you can clearly see that the Rangers are fighting, like Yellow Ranger goes ham and Billy is fighting and he's having fun, and the Black Ranger is doing some shit. The enemies that they had them fight, the big rock enemies, and even the rock simulation shit they had them do to show them getting stronger, I didn't like the way it was filmed or edited. I just wasn't feeling it, and the action felt so crammed in. I feel like they had more action in this film and they edited a lot of it down to this third act. When they do get to the Zordons, when they do get to the Zordons, the Zords, it's filmed the same way, to the point where sometimes the Zords are so big on screen that you can't fully see them. I had a hard time. I had a particularly hard time making out Trinity's saber, because I know her shit is a cat or whatever, but I can't really see it. The best looking Zord was the Pink Ranger's pterodactyl, and that's because she took up most of the screen time for the action where the Zords were separated, which is dope. But you got like T-Rexes and Triceratopses and Sabertooths and the other Zords, man, and I could not fully I wasn't really feeling the way the action scenes were shot with the Zords. I think when they became Megazord, that was done much better. Like, you can completely see the Megazord.
Okay.
It looks like it's straight out of a Transformers movie, the way that fight scene went. So that scene was good. I enjoyed watching the Megazord fight and watching them learn how to work together to make it happen. It felt. I thought it was dope. Like, I thought that scene was dope, but I wanted to see more martial arts with them in the suits. And it was really upsetting that we didn't get that type of scene after seeing them fight Rita Repulsa, not fully developed yet as Rangers. I was like, damn, like that fight was so good between her and them that I was waiting to see what would happen when everybody was on 10, when she was on 10 and they were on 10. I was waiting, and that's not what happened. It went straight to, we're fighting these rock monsters. Fuck that, pull out the Zords. Fuck that, Megazord, bitch. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And I think that's pretty much the pattern of the show that I remember. So I think for fans, that was a good callback. For me, I guess they really teased me with that Rita Repulsa scene. I wasn't expecting that scene, and it was just so damn good that I was hoping for more. And I hope that maybe in the future we'll get to see more Ranger power stuff, which is what I think is going to happen anyway, because this film's going to get a sequel, and we're going to get to see more Ranger power.
Well, and I would say that I looked at the budget, like, and this is going to sound like when I say only, but compared to some other films, it only had a budget of $100 million.
Seriously?
Yeah. And so when you consider what they're trying to do here with the Power Rangers, Zords, and Megazord, and all this other stuff, that's not bad for $100 million. All right.
No, it's not.
When you look at, like, I just looked at what this next Transformer the last night, its budget is $260 million.
It's gonna be fucking awful.
Right. So, hey, I like that, and that's why I asked that, and I was like, you know what, maybe they're not trying to go all in here, but if this film does fine, then maybe they'll put more money into it. And
I think
things
it'll
will
do
look
fine. It's getting good reviews from audience members. It's not getting great reviews from critics, and I'm not surprised by that.
But I'll say this:
good reviews from the people who want to see it.
And I was say that, like, Power Rangers has never been quote unquote good. It just hasn't. All right, I was never a Power Rangers person growing up. Like, I watched the first couple seasons, like, here and there when it was on, but it was again one of those things that I would joke at. By the time it came on, I was joking like, Power Rangers, fuck this shit.
I understand. I went back, too, but
I went back, like, recently during one of the nostalgia reviews we did. Like, I think in that first like a couple years ago, we did the Power Rangers movie, and that Power Rangers movie is god awful. All right, like, it is god awful. And to be perfectly honest, most of the Power Ranger films have been god awful. And I've heard people go, "Oh, well, no, like Ninja Stormer was above." Like, there's been so many different Power Ranger stuff, and it's literally the longest running thing.
Rangers, though.
Right?
These are people who like Power Rangers.
Right. This is one of the longest running. Yeah, it's one of the longest running franchises, like, ever. I mean, they've had Power Rangers all the time. So, all that said, I think considering, and you hear people who wanted to see Power Rangers, and I have not come across a person who likes Power Rangers, who wanted to see this Power Rangers film and was really excited about it, who came out and didn't like the film. And
right.
I think
I haven't seen that either.
And I think that's all that you can ask for. Because again, the person like me, right?
Really,
because the person like me or you who aren't really Power Rangers film, and if we watch it and we go, it wasn't that bad, that's actually pretty good considering that I think everything else but Power Rangers is god awful. So if I come out of you come out of that film going, you know what, they had something they could work with here. That's actually a win.
Like they made you, they really, really tried to get you in tune with the characters, which lets me know they want to build a franchise around these kids, which I think is dope. Yeah. Because I found this too. Max Landis' script leaked, the one that he gave to the studio.
How bad was it?
The whole movie. I'll read it to you. Not the whole script. The breakdown of what happens in the movie.
Oh God.
In his version of the movie.
Oh God.
So, let's see. Max Landis wrote a script, but was dropped. Okay, so in his script, Jason and Trinity dated, and then Zordon comes from another world, like Superman, in a spaceship that crash lands. Zordon ends up being a squid monster, and they have to find the Zords like Voltron. So they got to go to different regions of the world to find these Pokemon Ballish Zords. And Zach, the Black Ranger, and the Pink Ranger actually switch coins. So Zach ends up becoming a Pink Ranger, and Kimberly becomes a Black Ranger, and she does not want to be a Pink Ranger because she does not like pink. So that never gets undone. Billy is a wimp, but he can camouflage himself. Let's see. They're temporary Power Rangers because they're waiting for help to come from another planet. But when they find out that the planet has been destroyed, like Superman, they realize that they are the last Hope Rangers.
Can I just say
One
this?
of the Rangers has spikes that can come out of his suit. Rita wants to turn Earth into a ship and sail it away to her home planet. And in this film as well, she used to be a Power Ranger. Zach and Jason used to be friends, but Zach joined the football team, and Jason is like an outcast, so they're not friends anymore. Actually, Zach doesn't have any friends. Nobody likes him at all, even though he's on the football team.
Max
and Billy and Kim develop a love relationship and make out.
Max Landis
and
is
all of the
overrated.
villains supposedly from the original series were supposed to be in this movie.
Max Landis isn't over. So Ivan Ooze?
Yeah, no, not Ooze. All the way up to Rita's head dude. I don't know what his name is. Sorry, guys. I'm not Power Rangers for that.
Max Landis is an overrated writer. I'm just gonna say it.
God, he is. This is like I was listening to a Power Rangers fan read through this script, and Kriss, I cannot explain to you how excited this dude was.
Wait, for the script?
About this script. He thought it was amazing. And I'm listening to it. I'm going, that sounds awful. That sounds awful. Zord is a squid monster. He crash lands to Earth. You have to find the Zords like Pokemon. Like, the Pink Ranger and the Black Ranger switch.
Oh, God.
For what reason? It just was a weird sounding script. What, Billy can camouflage? Old girl has spikes come out of her suit?
I'm sorry. Power Ranger fanatics are one group that are fans that I just never. I
don't understand it. I'm sorry.
More power to you guys. I just can't. But hey, it looks like this movie is good enough.
I think y'all fared better without Max Landis. Like his name literally is Max Landis. Max, you gonna land this script? No, you are not, Max, because this shit is crazy. But I mean, overall, man, I thought it was a good film. I enjoyed it. If it was on TV, I'd watch parts of it, but I would watch it more for the characters just being friends or growing a friendship than I would for the actual Power Ranger part at the end. So I wonder if I don't remember that element from this series. Like I don't remember I don't remember what Angel Grove was like when the kids were in school and stuff. Like I don't remember what their relationships on the show were like.
Oh, that was a big thing. That was a big thing because they had. Oh man, I can't remember who the two bullies were. Oh fuck! I'm sorry, I can't.
It was Bullock or Bullet or something.
Yeah, I can't remember, but that was a big thing. Them being in the school was a big thing. So yeah, I know. I think that's good.
I get it. It was like the Saved by the Bell's ghostwriter of VR Trooper and Ranger films. I get it. Like it was, and I think this film is done much better with a much more serious tone. The little kids behind me, they seemed to enjoy it. They laughed at the jokes. Like it was definitely jokes for kids and jokes for adults. So overall, man, I'd give the film a 3 out of 5. Oh wait, we're on the scale, so that'd be a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay, not bad.
Yeah, I give it. For me, it's a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it much fucking more than Logan. I can tell you that. Shit, and the action scenes in Logan are definitely better than the ones in this one, but I will watch this 10 times more than I'll ever fucking attempt to watch Logan again. So, yeah, Power Rangers shits on Logan. How about that? Power Rangers is a better superhero movie than fucking Logan. So if that's the best thing I got out of March, then March was worth it.
Well, there you guys have it. That's the review for Power Rangers. Got anything else you want to say about the best superhero film in March?
Take your kids to see it. If you can see it in IMAX, see it in IMAX.
I might troll, and when I put this review, like put it as best superhero film in March.
You should. I don't know why you wouldn't. I would. What other superhero films came out this year?
You're
Nothing.
right? You're not wrong.
Best superhero film of 2017. It is right now. Ain't nothing else out.
As of this moment right now, the best superhero
Power
film.
Best superhero film of 2017. Phenom said it. Come fight me, bitch.
Also,
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and my review for Life is up on the site. Definitely go check that shit out. I'm gonna go again and see it tomorrow. I'm taking Petty with me.
Petty?
Yeah. No, it's a dope. It's a short film, dope film. And that little fucking alien. Like, you just come for the alien. Like, I've seen some people complain about some of the other characters. I don't give a fuck about that, because that fucking little alien shit, nigga, listen.
But all I'm saying, it looks like the Oscars worthy version of an Aliens film, like with the actors and stuff. That's all I kept thinking was, wait, this is coming out and Aliens is coming out in the same year?
It's not. Like, nowhere near Oscar worthy or anything like that. But it's not like Aliens at all. Like, it doesn't give you.
They cut the trailer up to look like an alien,
because they couldn't show you too much, because the film is pretty quick paced. But I'll put it this way: unlike Alien, where you feel like everybody's dumb there, they knew they were trying to get life. Like, they were trying to capture. They had sent a probe to Mars, and they were trying to capture this probe of Mars that had samples on it, and they were hoping to find life. They actually have fail-safe set up in case they get something that is too dangerous for Earth. So there's 3 fail-safes they have to keep anything they get from getting to Earth. And they get this little single-cell organism, and looking at it, and they don't realize that it's so much more than that, and it grows into, like, literally the most badass alien I've ever seen in my life, yo. It is. And like, I feel like the unlike most of these films, like Alien films, these people knew what they were up there for, and for the most part, they're not stupid. Like, they know containment, they know we can't let the thing get to Earth. And like, when you see that the trailer, and you see the black dude like messing with this thing, you're like, that's fucking stupid. What are you fucking doing? But in the film, like, that's what they were there for. Like, their whole thing was to test. If they found life, run tests on it. That room is sealed. Like, it's all has a purpose. They just weren't expecting, like, an intelligent single cell organism that
they
grows.
were testing it. Yeah, they didn't know what to expect.
Right.
That's why
so
they tested it.
Yeah, no, dude, it's not like Aliens, and the entire, like, there's no artificial gravity, so they're in, like, our time. So that means there's no gravity where they're at the entire movie. So dude, like, the entire thing, like. Yeah, it's fucking badass. Like, that fucking little alien. Like, you just go for it's its own little character in the movie, and it is fucking brutal. Like, I can't wait to see it again. So
I want to see it because I need a good sci-fi movie. Like, I need a good sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
So I hope. I think the last sci-fi movie I saw was Arrival.
Yeah, that's about right.
I need something else.
Yeah. So. All right, folks, so there you go. 7 out of 10 for Power Rangers. And you find our reviews on movietrailerreviews.net or mtrnetwork.net. Search for us on iTunes or Stitcher Radio, movietrailerreviews.net. Until next time, we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.